training. On hey. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Bear with me, everyone. Figure this out. La, 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 la. All right. Good afternoon. Bear with me, bear with me. I'm really trying to figure out why the timer is not on. Why we're not. Oh, well. Anyway, welcome again. Welcome everyone to our MIT Men in Training Mentorship. This is a support group for all those who may not know, or all those who may be logging in for the first time. My name is Craig, and I'm going to be sharing some information. I believe this is very important information when it comes to people like myself. I am a certified peer recovery specialist, and I am someone who has lived experience. And so that's on many facets. And so I'm not going to go into each and every one of them. However, we have a very interesting article on today. We have a very interesting article. And I'm excited about it because it's very informative. So without further ado, this article that I'm going to bring to you or share with you is from the Recovery-Village.com. The Recovery-Village.com. You can go online and retrieve this information. So I'm going to put it on the screen exactly what we're going to be doing today. It says incorporating the 8 dimensions of wellness in your recovery mentorship support group. Okay. Incorporating the 8 dimensions of wellness into your recovery. All right. And so I don't know why this thing is going up and down, around and around. And so let me read the introduction to you. It says incorporating these 8 dimensions of wellness in your recovery can improve your overall well-being and help make the entire process easier. All right. And so we want to express the fact that this is a mentorship segment. And so we're going to be talking about one of the reasons I thought it was important to address men in the community, because it's so important to see men being role models, leaders, someone that younger people can look up to, emulate, doing positive things and constructive things. And that aspect of manhood or fatherhood has been, I don't want to say lost, but a lot of times it has been misplaced due to either substance abuse, alcohol or drug addiction, or incarceration, or other measures. And so I felt it's so imperative that we as men, whether we are in the home, whether we are on the workforce, whether we are in the community, whether we are in a place of worship, we need to be able to be looked upon as someone that can lead and guide younger people, because a lot of times we as older men, we have a lot of lived experience. And so the goal is to direct or redirect young people so that they don't go down the same path that I'm keeping focus on myself, and so it's all good. We all can learn something, and also Let us know what you think about what we're doing here at Capital Recovery Center. And if you like what you hear, share that information, contact us, let us know what we're doing right, wrong, or what you disagree with. All right, let's get into it. It says wellness is just as vital to the recovery process as abstaining from drugs and alcohol. This might seem like an exaggeration or hyperbole, but it isn't. Recovery is about breaking free from dangerous behaviors to build a meaningful life without the weight of active addiction. Without taking the time to maintain your mental and physical health, recovery can become overwhelming, and it can be all too easy to slip back into old habits. Preserving and protecting your well-being allows you to be the best version of yourself. When you're actively tending to your psychological and physical needs, you feel connected to yourself, closer to others, and dedicated to leading a substance-free life. While wellness sounds great on paper, it can be challenging to understand how to actually practice it in your day-to-day life. To help make wellness easier to understand and achieve, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, SAMHSA, has outlined 8 key dimensions of wellness. By devoting time to each of these dimensions in your daily life, you can improve your health and well-being and reaffirm your commitment to recovery. All right? So the first one we want to talk about out of these 8 dimensions, we're going to go over all 8 of them, and so bear with us. And so the first one we want to share is emotional. That's emotional dimension. It says emotional wellness is more than feeling happy. In fact, a key part of emotional wellness is accepting that you won't feel content at all, or maybe even most of the time. By acknowledging your feelings and working through them, you can become more in touch with your inner life and practice emotional wellness. Processing your emotions through writing, talk therapy, or in conversation with people you trust can make this task easier. Emotional wellness can help you manage your stress and build resilience, right? I like that word, resilient. It can build your resilience. It helps you to bounce back from whatever emotional setbacks that you may have, right? In the face of temptations or setbacks, all right? Second one we want to share with the audience out there, and that is emotional, right? Emotional dimension, and that is the environment, excuse me, not the emotional, excuse me, the environmental. I just talked about emotional. We're talking about the environmental. The environment where you live, work, and relax can have a significant impact on your mood and overall well-being. This is particularly true if you're in recovery. Feel empowered to avoid places or situations where you might be tempted or persuaded to use drugs or alcohol, especially if you're already stressed or struggling, right? Spend time in safe, comfortable spaces as often as you can, all right? And so a lot of times you may hear the term or phrase, people, places, and things. That is so true. And so our environment can be, like the articles say, it can persuade us. It may also pressure us, right? It can be very tempting. And so a lot of times, if we're not, how would I say this? If we're not taking care of ourselves in all aspects, physical, mental, psychological, in all aspects of life, if we're not really taking care of ourselves and we're not placing ourselves, that's what I want to talk. if we're not placing ourselves in hostile or dangerous environments or situations where can't, like the article says, we may be struggling or we may be stressed out over something, and that can be a trigger, or that can be, especially certain environments can be triggers, and certain cravings and urges due to the setting that we may be in, we may slip up. And so I don't want to go too deep in that, but however, we want to touch on the third one. We just talked about emotional, environmental. Now we want to talk about the financial aspect of 8 dimensions of wellness. All right. So it says, well, it might sound mundane, getting a handle on your finances can relieve a surprising amount of stress from your daily life. Let me read that again. While it may sound mundane, getting a handle on your finances can relieve a surprising amount of stress from your daily life. Never knowing how much money you have left for food each month, or constantly worrying about retirement, is emotionally taxing. Take time to understand your current spending habits and monetary needs. Create a budget that cuts down on excess spending and allows you to save for the future. You can even help yourself feel grateful for your sobriety by calculating how much money you're saving every month by not buying drugs or alcohol. So true. Making a safety net for your current and future self can give you comfort and peace of mind. And so those are a lot of obstacles and hurdles that people like myself, had to face and continue to face on the daily when we talk about finances and things that we may contemplate of how we're going to manage our finances. So a lot of times, when we look at what do we have, our expenses as opposed to our revenue, and so sometimes it may not balance out. And so sometimes, if we're not careful, our expenses may outweigh our revenue, and so that can lead to a lot of stress, a lot of anger, frustration, and so we just constantly battling how we're going to figure this thing out and what does it take. So hopefully, by me reading some of these 8 dimensions, it can give you a glimpse, or maybe it give you a brighter picture of what it is that we must do. All of us who have lived experience, what can we do to be better people and get better results from our decision making? All right. So the next one we want to talk about, this is for all my smart people, and that is intellectual. This is for all my smart people out there, because I know you love this word. I know you really glow when it comes to intellectual and using your intellect, because we all like to believe that we are very smart and that we can achieve greater heights. And so this one I want to share as well. It says, whether you realize it or not, you're always on the lookout for new ways to stimulate and engage your brain. Let me read that again for my smart people. It says, whether you realize it or not, you're always on the lookout for new ways to stimulate and engage your brain. But if you seek out this stimulation without care or consideration, you may find yourself participating in passive activities like scrolling through social media. Me, myself, I look at that. If we don't manage that social media outlet, if we don't utilize it and we don't have a balance, we can get lost in it. And before we know it, hours, because I have done it, and 1 hour leads to two, and two, next thing you know, you're off to the races. And whereas you could have been able to say, okay, maybe I'll do 30 minutes of it, and just to see, keep up what's going on with what's going on in the world, I guess. And after that, I'll move on to something that's more meaningful. So let's see what the article says. It says, but if you seek out this stimulation without care or consideration, you may find yourself participating in passive activities. They call it passive activity, like scrolling through social media or watching hours of television. All right. While these activities can be satisfying in the moment, they lack the depth and meaning needed for true intellectual wellness. And this is some heavy stuff because it's so true, it's so profound. Instead, cultivate your curiosity by engaging in challenging activities that interest you. Learn how to play the piano. That's major. That's major. Learn how to play the piano, right? Or a violin if you want one person who wants to really challenge yourself. Because I don't think those are easy instruments to accomplish. It may take time. It may take patience, discipline, dedication. So learn something that's going to challenge you, right? It say write a short story, all right? Read a book by your favorite author, or scan your local bookstore for something new. Staying open to new ideas, interests, and wisdom enriches your days and makes your life worth living. Makes your life worth living. All right. All right. And so I was going to say something with that last sentence, make your life worth living. There's I believe, I don't want to say organization, but there is a person I know, he has a business, and that's his business called Life Worth Living. When I read that, I just immediately thought of the individual. All right, so let's go on to the fifth one. So let's do a recap of what we covered thus far. We went over, the first one we went over was number one, emotion. Then we went to environmental. Then we talked about financial. Then we just shared the intellectual aspect. Now let's get into occupational. Occupational, that's the fifth one. And then in the article reads, it says, engaging in meaningful work allows you to live out your values. Whether it's a day job, going to school, or volunteering, doing work that you are passionate about can make your life feel more meaningful. Plus, if you do work you love, you'll have another reason to feel excited when you wake up in the morning. All right? And so, with that said, it's almost self-explanatory, but a lot of times we are faced with the challenge, or we are faced with being employed due to whatever skill that we may have, or lack thereof. However, never be afraid to work. Never be afraid to learn new skills, life skills, because a lot of times we might find ourselves in places of employment that's really not beneficial to our growth. And so therefore, I'm not saying to leave your place of occupation. However, I'm saying on your downtime, we just talked about social media. Instead of spending so many hours on social media, what they call what do they use? They call it passive activities. Do something that's challenging. Get some challenging activities in place, whereas we can move forward and then hopefully another door open for a place of occupational, place of employment, that you can feel that you are growing and it's satisfactory. It's not causing so much stress financially, emotionally, or placing us wanting to revisit old behaviors. All right, let's talk about number 6. We're talking about what? Incorporating the 8 dimensions of wellness into your recovery. This is a mentorship support group, and the reason I'm sharing this information because I want us as men to become more strengthened, more healthier, more productive, more conducive within every environment and every place of activities that we dwell in, that we can not only do it for ourselves, but also do it for the younger people, those who may begin to make decisions that may be counterproductive to their growth. And so we want to intervene and prevent that from happening at all costs. All right. And so that's one aspect. So let's talk about the physical dimension. It says your body is the vessel that you move you through the world. It's vital that you treat it with kindness. Participate in regular physical activity, getting restful sleep, and eating healthy foods can reduce your risk of illnesses, right? Bolster your mood and increase your energy levels. It also says promoting both emotional and physical wellness. Believe it or not, I myself has been, well, I ain't gonna say has been. Yesterday, let me just share this. Yesterday, I got in the mindset, not only in the mindset, but in the physical motion of starting to exercise a little bit because I am a person getting up in age, and so therefore it's very crucial, very vital that I begin to take care of this vessel more better. And so I encourage anyone to do the same. So we got 2 more that we're going to cover, and that one is what we got. Number 7, social. We want to talk about number 7, social. Social. We need other people in our lives. Social support is one of the most fundamental human needs. Close friends and family members are there to celebrate the good with you, lament the bad, and keep you and help you go through life feeling connected and cared for. All right? Lament the bad and help you go through life feeling connected and cared for. Because of this, it's vital that you foster close relationships and make an effort to connect with at least one person you're close to every day. Nice. Attending Alcoholics Anonymous is great. You meet some good people in there who have lived experience, who have went down the wrong path. However, they are in recovery and they're not afraid to share their life strength and hope. So that's one place one can attend. Another one's Narcotics Anonymous. Then they have what we call Smart Recovery, or other addiction support groups can provide you with extra support in recovery and help you stay committed to sobriety. All right. And so the last one I want to discuss, and that is spiritual. Spiritual. We can't, a lot of time people, for whatever their belief is or whatever their perspective on spirituality or however they present it, I believe that we have to have a strong foundation of all-rounded dimension. And so spirituality is one. All right? So it says, spirituality is the search for personal meaning and purpose. Right? Let me say that again. Spirituality is the search for personal meaning and purpose, whatever that may look like for you. Soul search, all right? A healthy spiritual life can help you feel more connected to yourself, others, and the world around you. If you want to develop a sense of spirituality, it's important to take part in reflective activities that allow you to understand and practice your values and beliefs. Attend a place of worship, go for a walk, practice yoga, try meditation, whatever feels right to you. Taking the time to perform these activities on a regular basis can improve your overall wellness, increase your sense of purpose, and allow you to better understand your recovery goals in a larger context. While incorporating these 8 dimensions of wellness may improve your day-to-day life, it's important to remember that they are not a fix for external difficulties. Wellness is not the absence of illness or stress. It's having the mental and physical fortitude, right, to cope with these challenges. Regardless of your life circumstances, you can always strive for wellness. All right? And so that's it for me. My name is Craig. As I stated earlier, I'm a certified peer recovery specialist, and I just want to bring this information to you because I feel that we need to get back to some form of wellness. Hopefully, all 8 aspects of what I just shared, and if you have any other ones, and if they are working for you, incorporate those as well, as long as it's not producing negative results. And all right, until the next time, have a blessed one and stay safe.